Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Toxic Happy Hour. We have PUBLORD back. I'm super excited. I missed this guy. I'm happy to have him back in the pub. This is the Toxic Happy Hour. This is where we are toxic towards scams that delay the adoption of sound money. And PUBLORD, it is great to have you back after your foreign travels. What's up? What are you drinking today?
Nice sometimes. When you travel, you get to hit all the brews from around the world and all that local stuff. But it's good to get home, and then you get back to some of your old favorites. So I just have a nice Indian Pale Ale here, back in my little watering hole. So I'm sure they missed the business as well while I was gone. So
I'm sure they took a hit. I'm sure. So they're happy to see you. So, and what I'm drinking, I'm having my excellent drip coffee in my California mug, and this one is for Greg Sage, who was here Friday, because as you know, Pappy, we made a bet, and the winner has to go to the loser's place and have steak dinner. And since I know I'm gonna go to his place, and this is the only taste that Greg is going to have of California, here's to you, Greg. Bottoms up. So yeah, but let's start out by just revisiting that bet. So you can be fully up to date. Basically, it was our discussion of like we talk the bull run a lot. We talk hyper Bitcoinization is like, I guess, two main themes that keeps going through our show here.
Yeah.
So Greg and I disagreed on whether there would be a bear market or not. I would love for there to be no bear market, but I think I'm realistic when I say, look, latest 2022, we're going to have a bear market that is shorter and less dramatic than the previous one. Last time it took 1 year. This time it may only take 6 months. It's not going to be 85% drop, but I think it will be more than 50, which is what the bet is on. So if Bitcoin has a drop of 50% or more from whatever highest price is set in between now and end of 2022, that drop has to be before the end of 2022. And then steak dinner with some champagne for welcome drink, I insist, will happen at the loser's place. So if I win, I go to East Coast. If he wins, he's gonna come here to West Coast. So, but I really hope I win, because you are nearby, which means the three of us will go out and have steak dinner.
Yeah, we'll work that out. It's pretty good. I got a chance to watch the show. That's right, you guys. It was fantastic. You guys did a great job. It's funny. I say back over a year and a half, and somehow I have become more bullish than you, it seems. And
yeah, I know.
Look, I'm with Greg on this. And honestly, I guess who else would be in our camp? I think look at Preston Pysh, man. Preston Pysh is cool. I mean, the more I listen to those guys, I got part of your argument. Look, there's going to be people that maybe selling a bit to get that second home they've been waiting on. I just think the buy pressure is going to be so strong. I don't care who's selling.
I agree. So the thing is, I agree with all of the bullish sentiment that you guys have. The difference is that I acknowledge that once the price goes parabolic, like it does in a bull run, you will see a lot of the buying volume is coming from people that actually don't know what they're buying. They're buying it because the price goes like that. So you just need a small sell event. You need that small little bit of, a couple of days with more supply in the market than demand. And then all of a sudden, because the price goes down, they start selling because they get scared, right? They become little Roll Pauls or whatever. And then they sell, and that's all it takes for a bear market to set in. Granted, it's not going to be as big and long as the last one. No way. 50% is what I'm willing to put my bet on. I just think I'm being realistic. Like, I agree with all of the bullish sentiment as you guys. But I just think you guys need a little perspective. That's all in reality.
Hey man, let's we'll talk about Citibank in a minute, but let's take the average out. You got Plan B calling for 288. Let's look at Citibank at 318, just for simple math. Let's just call it an even 300,000. All right. I just don't see a pullback to 200,000 from there. I really don't, man. And then that's the cutoff line for you for your bet. I see. Yeah.
Oh, there's no we didn't talk about at what level the price goes to. What we're talking about is a 50%.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a 50% drop. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just using Plan B's model and the Citibank estimate just to get us at 300,000. But in that case, it's your position that we drop under 200,000. Greg's position is we may get down close to it, but we don't hit 50%. Look, man, I think the other corporations, even nation states, they'll be able, they'll have a good almost 13 years now. What do we have? 12 years. They'll have 12 years of history of seeing that, and they won't be scared off by the drop. In fact, they'll realize, hey, this is just part of the cycle, and I think they'll pile in money anyway when they know they're getting it at 20%, 30% off. I know I sure as hell will be.
Right. Yeah. So it'll be really interesting. There's no doubt about it. One thing I will say, because you mentioned Plan B, I totally prescribe to stock to flow. I know you do as well. However, I haven't heard him talk about the acceleration of stock to flow and the fact that the growth of stock to flow has come down. Like, it's still fast growing. It's still minimum 100% every 4 years, but people totally forget that it is actually way higher than that still. And in the beginning, it was extremely much higher than that. If we just take a very quickly stock to flow from the Genesis block to the first halving, it went up from 0 to 8. Okay, so stock to flow, you can say it went up with infinity, or you could say, okay, after the first block, stock to flow was 0.000 something. That is still from there to a factor 8. We're talking like a factor 10,000 or something. It went up, the stock to flow. From this first halving to the second halving, the stock to flow went up from 8 to 24. Factor 3, all right? So it accelerated a factor 3. From the second to the third, the one we just had, stock to flow went up from 24 to 56, which is a factor 2.33. And we should not ignore the fact that looking at the previous bull run, that came from a push on the price of a factor 3 on stock to flow. This one comes from 2.33. It's not the same. It's going to be I think, until hyper-Bitcoinization hits, and we don't know when it hits, but if it doesn't hit, then it means that the bull run is longer and it's a little bit less aggressive. It takes a little bit longer time before it gets steep, and the steepness at the end of the bull run also is a little bit less, still very steep. But again, like the other measurement I've spoken about before, how many days in that bull run did it take for Bitcoin to go up the last 100%? April 2013, 5 days. November 2013, it took 9 days for the last 100%. December 2017, it took 16 days. That steepness expands a little bit. And I'm sorry, I know I mentioned this many times before, but I just see that or feel that it's underestimated. So, and I try to, like, Plan B says that if you want to get hold of him, reach out on Twitter. I tried to do that several times, but he gets 1 million messages. So of course he doesn't see a message from little me. But I'm trying to convey this that hey, I don't see you talking about this slower acceleration of stock to flow. Don't you think that will mean that the bull run will be more than 18 months like it was last time, which is what I'm saying. And then today, this morning, I saw he tweeted instead, waiting for that 60% monthly candle like we had in 17, like we had in 13. And that shows to me that I just got my one of my Bitcoin price apps, which gives me an alarm that goes up every time there's a 3% moving either way. It just came in, and there's another 3% up. We're now at $16,829 on Bitstamp. And I'll be quiet real soon, Pappy, because I need to breathe, and you need to say something as well, because you have a lot of good input. But
go for it.
Plan B saying that he's looking for the same steepness as last time. I honestly think it's for all the value he brings, which is tremendous, I think he might be missing that. At least I don't hear him talking about it. So I will now sit it and hear your opinion. Do you have an opinion on that? Or?
Well, yeah, with Plan B, of course, that's the free model he gave the world, and that's all it is a model. Where I agree, like with Preston Pish, and even I think Jeff Booth is in this camp, even Sale is, at some point, guess what? That model is going to break to the upside. I think so. Yes, you can look back and talk about 2.3, 3 point whatever, this many days here. Well, guess what? I'm of the camp that this is the one that breaks the model. Okay, so then we're in uncharted territory at that point. So that's just my view on it. Is the amount of money. Of course, before people could look at that run up we had from 10,000 to 20,000 in 2017. Yeah, that opened a lot of people's eyes. Okay. Now, when you see a run up from, let's be conservative, back to an all-time high as we're hitting there, up to just call it 100,000. It can't be ignored by companies anymore. It can't be. When they're looking at what Saylor did, when they see the melting ice cube, as he says, there's nowhere else to put the money. This is when you get the pension funds. This is this is the one that I think breaks it to the upside. The pandemic, for all the bad it's done, it's at least done a world of good for bringing Bitcoin to the forefront of many people's minds. So this is it, man. I think this is the cycle that we break out, and Plan B goes into full hiding, as he said.
As I hope so. Greg mentioned I could just concede the bet now. I'm like, look, these Bitcoin prices, I can't afford a stake for you. But I do this bet because Bitcoin goes to $1 million or above. I will be able to find somewhere some funds to pay for that unlimited steak dinner, free bar, everything. I just want to once again reiterate that we have the best chat in this space. I don't know about the host. I will say Puppy is bringing it up. But we have the best. I don't want to just read out a couple because they're catching the same sentiment as I totally have here, and as I mentioned in the beginning of this one, where finally Puppy is back here. Always good to watch Danish, but not gonna lie, I missed Puppy. Dream team right there. I couldn't agree more. I miss Puppy. Great to have you back. And as Bob Boberson says, Pablo is essential to this. Absolutely agree. We've got BTC Moonguy in there as well. Woof to you. So Labra was here Friday as well. The show with
man.
That Greg stole with all his naivety. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But great to have him on as well. Preach it, Puppy. Number go up.
Hey, welcome back to Labra.HODL, formerly known as George.HODL. But yeah, he was one of the first sort of guests on the show. We were just kicking around these little talks of ours.
Labra HODL, the little poodle, was the first.
Yeah, and then
nice guy, really like
yeah.
genuine nice guy, good viewpoints. Yeah, great to have him on again.
Yeah, so I missed that one with him, but it's great. You know, it's cool, man, and this is why I love the club community. Man, just a talent. Some of these guys, and you know, like you're talking about with him and Greg and all these guys who I think I've probably known them about a year and a half now or less, but just great dudes that look, I can't make a show or two. Guess what? They just step right in. Don't miss a beat. I love it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Wait, there was yeah. No, sorry, I missed my train of thought there because I'm like looking at the chat at the same time as I'm looking at listening to you.
So hey, question for you guys. Yeah, that one. It's a good thing I wasn't live on that one because I've been calling you out. What in the hell? What the hell are you mixing with Pepsi?
So yeah, here's the thing. All right, I remember what I wanted to say before. I always do. So here's the thing. You know, when in Rome, do as the Romans. I'm in America now. I'm a guest here. You know, I'm a first-generation immigrant to this great nation. And I know that rum and coke. No, not rum and coke. Bourbon and coke. Bourbon and coke. It's a big deal here. So I'm trying to learn from you guys. I'm trying to see, what do Americans love? What do Americans drink? What would Puppy drink right now? I said to myself. I got good bourbon, a quality bourbon like you would have. Then I got what you know, and a Pepsi. And I gotta say, you guys, I'm not super impressed. Like, I get it, it's not that bad, but it's not. You can have it if you're thirsty. You can absolutely drink it. Otherwise, I'm not so impressed with your drinking culture, Puppy.
So wait, I mean, are you hanging out at the sororities at the local college or university? Because that's the last time. You drinking Jack and Coke and jungle juice out of a trash can, because that's the level. Look, man, you're hanging around with Puppy. You're hanging around with the people. Bourbon is always neat. I don't even sully that with ice. Bourbon, always 2 or 3 fingers, just plain neat. It's all about the bourbon, my friend, at that point. So what you want really is like a Jack and Coke, man. Like you're 23 again.
Yeah. So the thing is, I was looking at Jack D as well. Right? I get everything delivered to my home. It's just so convenient. I was looking at that, and then I thought, you know what? Why don't I try and make it a nice version of that? Let me get a good bourbon. This looked like a really good bourbon. I got to be honest. I was with the sign of the bottle that Woodward Reserve is looking amazing. That tastes good as well. That tastes really good. So I think now I've tried it, and next time it'll be nice only. Today I made a huge pocket of coffee because it's Monday. Monday I do have more work. So I'm having coffee today because I actually got to be productive later. Like you were productive earlier today. So, and also I just want to say, thanks to like really many of those guys hanging out in the chat right now, and Greg, who I can't see there. I don't remember last time I laughed as many times as Saturday because of the bet we did Friday, Greg and I, and all the memes coming out of this where we're giving each other so much. So I was just standing, somewhere, amongst like other adult people, and start cracking out laughing because I'm, on my Bitcoin Twitter account. It was a lot of fun. Great people in the chat. Great people on Bitcoin Twitter, to be honest. Robert has a very relevant question. Can we get 17,000 before the show ends? I wouldn't count on it, but I'll go as far as I think there's a good chance that the $16,000 floor is set and we won't go below it. What do you say, Puppy? Are we going to see 15,000 something again, or is it history?
This has been a fun ride since March. Someone that wrote it down from the all-time high It's a lot better on this end, watching it level off at, you know, from 5,000 to 7,000. Then we're at 9,400, it seemed like weeks. Cracked back over 10,000. And people wanted to pull back. Then 12,000 for a while. Then, and like now, man, I think this is truly new territory for us. This time just feels different. I mean, we've been over, what, since July 26th, over 10,000? I mean, you know, it's funny, like you say, we talk about the short memories, but how many people would be crying if we're down at 14,000? Okay, so you just go down to 14,000 tomorrow. And if you had told those same people in March we'll be at 14,000 in November, they would have been ecstatic, you know. So
imagine
it's flat. No, I'm just saying it's been a nice, slow, steady grind so far, and people are trying. The ones that are selling, guess what? The buyers aren't having it. We're not letting them get out. We're taking it from them.
Oh yeah. And I see you're still stacking. You're still buying the dip from from your entry point. I'm just so ecstatic from. I mean, I can say that, right? You've been public about your first purchase.
Oh yeah, of course. Right? Yeah.
So
look,
I'm so ecstatic for us getting back to that peak 2017 price that you managed to buy at. I'm gonna celebrate with you when we're crossing 17,600 and every single set purchase, every single stack you ever did becomes profitable. And I'll congratulate you on the 3%, 2%, 1% you've done in a 3-year period. That's amazing.
Well, and that's the beauty, you know. And I don't mind telling anyone, you know, it's $17,621.15 at my entry point. I didn't buy a whole coin, obviously. That was just the going rate. But I tell you what, you know, there's people that just are out there to say, oh, don't tell anyone what. And I don't talk about, you know, how much I've tried to accumulate during this time. However, it's because of people like Friar Haas, who like me, when he started in 2013. It was an all-time high, but it was his story. His story kept me in the game, dude.
Yeah. Oh,
his
really?
His story kept me in. Friar Haas, yeah, I told him this offline many times, man.
Yeah.
He Adam Meister getting me out of the dirt coins, as you call them. But yeah, with Friar, man, look, he took a beating. I don't know how many, like I don't come from my 1,000 days or whatever of holding that first purchase in the red, but those are the kind of people in the space that I love, man. Look, be honest about it, but you give people hope. You tell people, hey, look, I've been there, man. There's no one that has a worse start than I did. But guess what, man? I'm still here. I'm still. I made it down to 3,400. Bought on the way back up. It's DCA is the way, man.
You made it down to 31 something, not 34. December 16, 2018, I believe it was down to like 3,120 on Bitstamp.
Well, yeah, but
I know you're a big Coinbase fan.
Oh yeah, hey, Coinbase, because at the time that was the only game in town, though. Really, I mean, aside maybe I think Binance was out there and
they didn't have a US version yet.
But they didn't have a US version,
just like global.
Yeah.
Then they were told by regulators you can't just sell corn to Americans without having a mafia license. So they set up a Binance US version of the website.
Yeah. And they only had the 4 coins on there, man. You had Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and Ethereum. That was it.
Thanks God, because otherwise you would have diversified further.
Dude, honestly, and what do they have now, man? What are like 7,500 damn coins out there?
I don't know. And I don't care. I care only for Bitcoin. But daily, so on eToro now, daily I answer questions about should I wait for a dip? Where I say, look, if you wait for a dip, you're risking a potential 2,000% upside to get a 2 to 3% discount. It may very well not come. I've seen it since. I still have this one friend I tried to convince, but you can't convince everyone, that at 9,500, the price was 9,500. We had been there for a while. I'm like, this is it. When you come from down and you work through a floor, continue up. If you come from up and work through a floor, you will continue down. In my opinion, this is what happened September, October, November 2018. We were coming from up. We were sitting at 6,000 and then crashed down. Back half a year ago, we were at 9,500, but had come from below. And then he wanted to wait for 7,500 to put in like the remaining 60%. And I'm like, dude, that's not going to happen. At least do dollar cost averaging. And then if it goes down, great, you'll get some cheap coin. But hey, it may very well not come down. So you don't miss out, at least. And it didn't come down. And I happen to know that 60% that could have been invested at 9,500 still is uninvested. It's mind blowing.
And that's what I never understood. People are looking at this, and you're saying to yourself, this is at a minimum 10x, we'll say, in the next year, at 10x, maybe 20, maybe 30 in the next 2 years. You're gonna quibble about a few dollars in the grand scheme of things, just waiting to buy a dip on something that is already going to. Dude, just pour the money in. I told, if you have a windfall, take half of it if you want. Take half of your, we'll say at 10 grand. Look, take 5 grand, buy in now. Dollar cost average the rest, man. There's absolutely no reason to try to time anything because you can't time it.
It's like, I started saying this to people as well. Look, we're in a bull run. This is confirmed. Look at history. We had a halving. You cannot deny that we're in a bull run. All right. Next fact is, in a bull run now at this phase, on average, Bitcoin probably goes up 0.25% to 0.5% on average. On a daily basis. So if you're going to time this, you believe that not only can you beat the market in terms of getting to pay your trading fees, there's always a fee for buying and selling, but you also think that better than the market, than 0.25% to 0.5% increase every day, that you're missing out on average if you don't go in. So like at this stage, you just, I think it's safe just to be fully exposed. And another thing I'll say, if you have more fiat currency, this is not financial advice, this is just my opinion. If you have more fiat currency, for instance, dollars, than you have dollars debt, then you are actually long the dollar or your fiat currency of your choice. If you have more cash than debt in that currency, you're long the fiat regime. Good luck with that.
Good luck absolutely. It's funny. Well, I guess not funny in a way, but even Michael Saylor says, and this is a question. Hell, we got to have him on a happy hour. He seems like the kind of guy that would do this. But it was the Giga Chad himself, Michael Saylor.
I'm not sure we can get him on here.
Hey, I got faith, buddy. I got faith, man. So hey, we got Princey on next Monday. I know he's got Saylor's personal phone number. So yeah. Anyway.
Hey, look, I know I talk a lot, and I don't want to interrupt you, but still I do. I just want to say all I care about is that $100,000 yacht party. As long as we get 2 tickets for that, I'm good.
But even so, this guy, when you hear him, obviously just a brilliant dude. But look how long it took for one of the most brilliant guys in his space to finally get Bitcoin. It took a pandemic to speed it up. I think that'd be a great question. If it wasn't for the pandemic, how long would it have taken him? Because it was a pandemic that forced him to sit down, do the math on things, working from home. So I always thought that'd be an interesting question as well. If it wasn't for the pandemic, like how long do you think it would have taken him? Another year, another 2 years?
That's the thing. It's a very good point.
And you look now. Look, he in a way dollar cost average in to $11,111 Bitcoin. But how ridiculous! $425 million investment is now worth $642 million today.
Yeah,
I mean, absolutely mind blowing.
Yeah,
mind blowing.
Absolutely.
And to have other CEOs and CFOs sitting around watching the Bitcoin price when it gets to an all-time high, they've got no other choice.
Yeah,
they've got no other choice but to at least put hell. Would he put in 85% of his stuff? Look, they at least got to put in 5%, 10%.
Yeah, but as I said, like these companies, once they run the numbers and understand this is a better store of value, you're so foolish if you only put in 10% or 5%, right? But I get it. Like they got responsibilities. The number one priority usually for people in a job is to not do anything that will cost them the job. So there's often a focus on not necessarily doing what's best for the company, but doing what gives you the least risk of being fired. And that's why you see funny stuff going on, like companies not allocating 100% to Bitcoin yet. But I think you're absolutely right. It's a great point that because of, and I'm not going to call it pandemic because we have a bad flu going on, no doubt about it. I feel the word pandemic may be an overreaction, but that's just me.
Pandemic. It's the pandemic, as I call it.
A pandemic. Pandemic would be with a plan B. Anyway, so there's no doubt that the measures taken by central banks in terms of money printing because of COVID lockdowns and basically need for stimulating people in at least in their perspective, that has caused that ice cube to melt so fast that a guy like Michael Saylor actually notices it's melting, and you can see how that it's melting fast, and no doubt that caused him to look into it and make the decision to allocate 100% of their reserves on the balance sheet to Bitcoin to store value, which you can't do in fiat currency. It's built, it's built to deteriorate in value.
Well, so here's what's great though. Two things. One, look, like you say, there's the guys that are afraid to get fired. So what do? They do nothing. They do the conservative thing that's always been done. You know why? That's how we always did it. You put it in gold. You put it in bonds. Okay? So guess what? Bitcoin rewards someone that takes a chance. And that's exactly what he did. He's taking a chance there. Damn, I forgot where I was going with my second point. But I think that's important when you're looking at CEOs and people looking at this. Look, fortune favors the bold, baby, and Bitcoin's going to reward the ones that lift up that veil and see that Federal Reserve Wizard of Oz is a complete sham, and it's the people that did their own due diligence and took a chance to realize what true monetary policy is that are going to be rewarded in Bitcoin. It's the most equitable way of distributing true value. It goes to the people that took a chance and are smart.
Absolutely. No one is. I wouldn't say no one is lucky in Bitcoin, but because they proved themselves to be lucky. There's some people that stand out as lucky rather than smart, like Roger Ver and those other guys that panic rage quit. Vinny Lingham proved to be just lucky to hold Bitcoin. I never forget, I was there in the first 30% correction out of 5 or 6 in the 2016 to 17 bull run. The first of about 5 to 6 30% corrections. Be prepared for those. Vinny Lingham sold everything and said, I'm waiting for, and this was like, he sold at $790 all his Bitcoin, and said, I'm buying back at 600 or something. And of course, we never touched 600. So either he's not too clever, or this was his official boating accident. That is, of course, also a chance.
Yeah, I tell you, that's the one thing. So, first person on the next bull run that calls me lucky gets punched in the face, man. Because there's nothing lucky about buying and holding, and just having strength of conviction of what you do. That's not lucky at all, man. That just takes balls of steel. That's why I respect everyone in Bitcoin in general, but especially the ones like me that started in December 2017, or even the old school guys that started and had that kind of conviction. Because it's the easiest, hardest thing you'll ever do to try to buy and just hold Bitcoin and watch those drops. You know, when you watch it drop 70-80%, but you're still there, man. I got more respect for those people than anyone in the world.
Right. Another thing I just want to mention is something I've been saying for months. I saw American HODL that we had as a guest early on. You can find that on my YouTube. That's 2 weeks ago or something. Also, you can find last Friday the 13th special edition Toxic Happy Hour with Greg on my YouTube, of course. But American HODL tweeted that Bitcoin bull run plus Bitcoin Twitter equals dopamine. Dopamine, yeah. I know I called it endorphins early on, so I'm not, a biochemist. But as I was saying months ago, look, I don't know if I have enough endorphins to last me through this bull run, because now, for years I've been talking about this bull run, since the last one said it's gonna come again. We got to get the halving. Things gotta happen. But for years I was just talking about it, and now when we see it materialize, it's like, man, it's happening. It's like now we're seeing pretty much the confirmation of us going way above 100,000, and I believe above 200,000. So it's like I spoke to a soccer mom yesterday.
I bet you did.
Sorry? No. It's just, our sons go to soccer together. Yeah. I'm happy all the time now, right? So I tweeted it. Good Sunday morning, right? And she said, like, what? It sounds like you've been on the radio or something, like the way you talk. Yeah, this is how I talk now. I'm excited. I'm happy. I mean, I'm just, as Will Ferrell said in Wedding Crashers, I love that scene. Guys, you got to watch Wedding Crashers again. But where he's sitting in his dark red silk kimono, and he's just
one of my favorites.
Just living the dream. Just living the dream. That's awesome. That movie.
It's it's funny because it's such a journey, and it's so different because it's hard to imagine. So say someone that started in 2015, or someone hit that sweet spot, and they had that fantastic run up or whatever in 2017, and it comes back down to them. It's interesting because I haven't talked enough to people from those different eras and what the feeling was like. Like to me now at 16,000, almost pushing 17 again, I feel I'm just at the beginning again. I'm back where I started, even though like dollar cost average down. Like
that's the thing.
It's not that I feel dead inside. I feel like, dude, I haven't even started in Bitcoin yet. Right. Yeah, dollar cost, but it's like, hey, I'm ready to roll. I'm ready for that full moon shot. You know what I mean? I haven't had that dopamine. I had the dopamine of buying down, which is fine, and buying back up, which is great.
Yes, maybe I won't run out. Maybe my body just produces more as the price goes up. I hope so. I really hope I don't like run out and crash hard. It's so funny what you described there. It really feels like, man, I've been here, but 4 years ago, and I didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
But now I know. I mean, I wasn't here exactly 4 years ago, right? But you know what I mean. But it's like watching it now again play out in real time, but with like a factor 20. Mind blowing.
Well, and just a difference today versus 3 years ago. Now, educational wise, the number quality podcasts, the number of just great people in the space, it's just has really gone exponential there. A good one, I think, if I can't make it with you and Matt Odell tomorrow, for you to talk about, because he's always been like sort of the techie guy to me. He's been the guy, I mean, knows the ins and outs of all the wallets, everything like that.
Privacy, security,
private, everything. And that's, to me, is still the last hurdle for the community, I think, to really hit. Is even from 3 years ago, was it? 3 years ago, it was always, hey, get a Trezor, or now you've had Cold Card since then. But it's what's the new like interface? What's the new? What's the next thing that is going to make controlling your private keys easier for the average person that wants to come in here? Because I'm telling you, it wasn't easy. You had to teach. Everyone has to teach himself at some point when they came in. That's why I respect everyone from old school, from using paper wallets to whatever wallet. But that's I think a great question for him, because he's so privacy oriented. What's next? What is there? Is it proprietary software or user interface? I don't know. But I think that's the next major growth industry. Is you're gonna have people that say, "Oh, okay, yeah, Bitcoin, I get it. Hell, it's $50,000. I want some."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I gotta do what? What the hell's a private key? I gotta write how many words? Oh, I gotta nail it. I gotta nail it onto this metal plate. That's the next big leap for me, is to see where do we go from here as a community. I just don't know.
Right. And you're right. We need that. We need something that we can send, our parents and grandparents, a way to hold it without being, at a huge security risk to themselves, which is why I'm being very realistic with my mother. I know there's a lot of hate on GBTC, but you know what? In some people's cases, it is just an easier and a better way. Like even getting an account on something like Coinbase and buying is too complicated. So she already has a stock account connected with a bank account, and that would have been the easiest way. And check this out. So the year's 2020, and her stupid Nordic bank called Nordea says that sorry, but we don't allow any business at all whatsoever that has anything to do with Bitcoin. So she's, by her bank, not even allowed to buy GBTC. And I know, guys, you're gonna say, but yeah, help her get an exchange account and buy there. I could do that if I was there next to her in Denmark. I was actually planning to go today. For this whole, it's just not easy right now for me to go because of all these restrictions, etc. So I'm planning to maybe go in January instead. But I finally convinced her, even though her family friend advisor is still to this date. I've had a discussion with him now for 3 years, and he's like, that's gonna collapse. Look, that guy, he's a really, really smart guy. He's been so successful that he doesn't see a problem, therefore maybe not as open to a solution to the problem. But I even got her convinced, despite him saying stay away from that. All right, she's ready to buy GBTC, and then the bank says we don't touch Bitcoin. So an uphill battle.
And then you see, that's the hard part, man. Like I say, especially someone, great person, and very successful. Guess what? They're very successful in a system they understand. they understand better than probably every other person. Obviously didn't get it. So it's easy for them to be successful in a system they've sort of mastered. Okay. So for them, they're the hardest ones to bring over to Bitcoin, because for them, hell, I'm already making my 20% a year. I get how all this works. I know how to leverage my holdings. I know how to do this. I'll always be able to make money. For them, it's an unnecessary risk in their mind. And unfortunately, you have an older generation that trusts that generation. You know, sort of like we first trying to tell your grandparents how to use email, and they still call it to this day, you know, the email or the Google, the internet, the everything related technology wise. So if you thought that was an uphill battle, trying to teach people how to use email when the internet was coming online, now tell them, listen, you got all your worth tied up in this. Don't screw up and lose your private key.
Right.
You know, so
yeah, not easy, but yeah. So
yeah.
As you were saying, you know, this very dear family friend who's you know, advising my mom against.
Yep. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. We love the live interaction with the pop. You know, you're bringing the atmosphere. I'm sitting here in the kitchen. You're bringing the real atmosphere.
Hey, you'll like this. So my friend here, one of the closest things I met to anyone, the closest thing I met to anyone owning Bitcoin is this guy. That it's funny. He walks in, one of the regulars, but he actually over the years has bought GBTC. And he walked in right after you started talking about it. How crazy was that? And so he always, whenever there's a pump of Bitcoin, whenever we're here, he goes, "Hey man, your Bitcoin's doing good." He's always happy for me. Your Bitcoin's doing good. So I haven't seen him since when I left the country. I think we were at like 10,000. So I haven't seen him since it's been that. Yeah. Let's think about it. Yeah, early October. What were we at?
You left early October. Yeah.
Dude.
We had the toxic happy hours from your hotel room. That's right.
Yes, I haven't. So I know he's going to be
awesome.
Yeah.
So he's made a killing.
He's done good. Well, he was one of those. He would take he would wait at and this is probably about. I think we talked about this for what, a year and a half, 2 years. I know with GBTC, he would just play around with it and sell when it, like, he has one of those things like at 20%, I'll sell and take profit. Then it would drop. Then he sold. Then he waited. Yeah. And so he always thought I was not really nuts, but he always loved the stories when I was telling him about, you know, $4,000 Bitcoin, $3,000, you know, 3,400, and then buying back up. You know, especially like in March early April. You know, he was laughing when I took my stimulus check and bought 0.17 Bitcoin at $7,000. You know, so yeah, it's cool to have someone now that sort of understands. He understands it from the GBTC point, and so he likes number go up technology. He's just not one of those guys that's a hardware wallet type yet.
He didn't get to the stage yet where he wanted to own an asset that is the first asset that no one ever can seize from you. Which I remember was like when we started talking almost 2 years ago on the phone. It was the one thing you were super excited about in the beginning, apart from, of course, number go up technology. But it was the fact that it's the first asset ever that no one can confiscate from you.
You know,
so he's not there yet.
Yeah. Not yet. No, everyone's different. But of course, number go up gets everyone excited. He and we've had that talk before. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But it's already good because he's already divorced. He doesn't need to worry about keeping assets separated from a wife.
Right. Congratulations to. I'm kidding.
No. No, I'm joking about that. No, but you're absolutely right. It's interesting. Of course, number go up. That brings in how many? That brings in almost. That draws in everybody. I get that. Other than that, people have their different reasons for being here, which I find fantastic. And one I just thought so interesting was the fact that you have an asset class that's unconfiscatable. Okay, one thing in your life that you truly own, and I like bringing that up to people, and I ask them and say, listen, what do you have that can't be confiscated by a bank or a government? I mean, hell, they'll garnish your wages. You can't even work without them getting their fingers into it. And there's some people that appeals to them. That's what appealed to me, man. Number go up, and the fact, look, I got this separate account. Hell, you keep a separate thing right up in my brain, man. I just keep everything. I got value that can't be touched, and I think that's important for every, like I say, sovereign individual. Definitely. So
Amen.
I get the libertarian point of view of it. I get the guys that are speculators and even traders. You know, I wish they don't trade the stuff and just would hold it. But hey, everyone's got a different reason for being here, man. But I respect them all.
Yeah, it's funny. We all came in at Bitcoin from well, not 100% different angles, all of us, but we came in from different angles, and it's funny that even though I pride myself of I think I have had a good investing track record, but that wasn't the reason I came to Bitcoin. I came to Bitcoin because I was worried about humanity. I felt, look, middle class is wiped out, all while GDP per capita keeps growing, but 95% of the population doesn't see that. And I felt, okay, this is not just capitalism. There is a fundamental problem. I felt the fundamental problem was the central bank. I didn't understand how the problem was there, but I kept investigating that. And that's how I came across Bitcoin. And then I see Bitcoin as the solution to the central bank caused problems. And there are many, like wealth divide, etc. And then at the same time, look, it just happens to be a great investment because it's the future of money. And you want to hold some of the future money because that current money, fiat, is not going to be worth anything.
No, I agree, and you know what? That's one of the lessons I learned early on here, is because when you find something as life-changing as Bitcoin, you want to tell your friends and family, of course. A hard lesson early on is they got to be prepared for it. Okay, the groundwork, or like I think we may have mentioned on the show before. It's like if you're gonna plant crops in a field. Well, guess what? That ground has to be prepped. Okay, the ground there's work that has to be done there. Now, in my mind, is things like the creature from Jekyll Island, learning about the history of the Federal Reserve, having an understanding of economics and going off a gold standard. So that's prepping the ground to understand Bitcoin. Things like reading Atlas Shrugged and seeing how governments and the bureaucracies will always be against an individual's brilliance and use everything in their power to do things to make life fair for everybody. Okay, when it's never fair at all. So I was ready for Bitcoin when I was ready for it, and when I finally got it, it's like that dog getting a bone, man. Was never going to let go. Now, if I just go out and try to explain this to people, they're looking at me like I'm nuts. These are the people that still think we're on a gold standard. These are the people that have no problem. I get a paycheck. I go to it gets deposited in my bank account, and I pay my bills. That's life for them. That's how life always was, and how life will always be. And that's one of my favorite quotes from Satoshi. Is, look, I don't have time to explain it to you, man.
Yeah, if you don't get it, I don't have time to explain it for you. I'm on a mission here to improve the world. I can't point to any one person that has done more for the world than Satoshi Nakamoto. I must say, people don't know it yet, but it will become apparent. I even think America is going to become a great place once we are on the sound money standard, Bitcoin standard. I think that a lot of problems right now draining life quality from really the majority of people. That's what I'm observing. I may be wrong, but as a semi-outsider, only moved here 4 years ago. That's what I see, and all of those problems, as far as I can see, are gonna go away when we're on sound money. Also, like race wars, or and the communist drive towards, let's take the rich people's money. That's all because of central banking putting majority of people in a terrible financial situation. And when you're in a terrible financial situation, people become, they start fighting each other, instead of, if everyone were doing well financially, most people don't have a problem with, one race or the other race or something. But, people benefiting from this whole system are happy to instigate trouble, because they'll take away the focus on what's really going on.
Well, here's the other thing I love about this. Let's if we talk about voting for a second, okay? So it's always hilarious to me that you need a credit card. You need a credit card to rent a car. You need identification to fly anywhere. You need identification for a hotel. You got this litany. You got 100 things, everyday things that you can do, that you need identification for. But when it comes to voting, of course, they make it to a point, or one side does, where they call things unfair, they call things racist, they call things this, that you know what, you shouldn't have to have an ID for voting. And I always laugh at, like, so you're telling me the most important thing in the world, you think people are too stupid to get an ID for. People are too stupid to get identification for. So be it. However, guess what? You can't fool Bitcoin, man. Okay, so you could say it's not. Someone's going to come and say, "Well, it's not fair. No one understood economics. This person didn't get it. Why it had value. Well, that's not fair. That it was so hard to learn how to either do KYC, non KYC. That's so difficult for someone to learn. It's not fair that they didn't get into Bitcoin when you did, because that's going to come out next. This isn't fair. It should have been easy. Well, guess what? It's not easy. I respect everyone that's here, because they figured it out on their own, man. They did the research. They learned. They probably lost some money. I don't care. But I love the fact that it's not easy. The best things in life aren't easy, man.
Amen.
So
amen. Yeah. And I just want to say on that note of your beautiful input there, guys, we only have 4 likes on the episode that Pappy is back. Pappy is finally back. Pound that like button for us having a good old PUBLORD back in the pop. Because it's good to see you, my friend. Missed you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, good to be back. Home for the holidays. We'll work on that holiday schedule. I know. Yeah, you got Matt HODL tomorrow. Hey, Monday, we got one of the originals, Daniel Prince, back in the house.
Oh yeah, so we got the record holder for longest time spent in the pub, Daniel Prince, Princey9 at Princey1976, I think it is. Yeah. Coming back on Monday, 1 week from now. Tomorrow there's going to be 2 toxic happy hours. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, you have some family engagements tomorrow. That are very important and are the highest priorities. But I will be hosting first Brian Harrington at 11 a.m. Pacific time. He's from he lives in Orange County. Solid Bitcoiner and meetup organizer, all about the Lightning Network and the circular economy. And we're going to be talking about a Christmas event happening. They're putting together where we want to get as many Bitcoiners to join and have a party down near Long Beach. And then at 1 p.m., 2 hours later, Matt HODL is coming on to talk about privacy multi-sig security, etc. It's going to be, I mean, the guy is a legend in the space, and it's going to be a huge privilege to listen to his knowledge. So that's 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. New York time. Thanks, BTC Moon Guy, for having pounded that. I'm gonna need to refill my my Cali cup for. There's a little bit of the double bucket of coffee left. Won't take long. Maybe Pablo, you can start explaining a little bit, because we spoke about that Friday. The meme process. How does that work? How do you get inspired? How does it? How do you get your ideas? And what's the process like? I'd love to hear. Like, we heard it from HODL and Greg Friday. So and you're a bit of a meme beast yourself. So I'd love to hear your input on that. If you can start slowly, I'll just quickly grab coffee and I'll be right back. Okay?
Yeah, you got good? It, man. I'm good.
So explain to our toxic army in the chat what you're doing.
Yeah, the best thing for me with all the memes, it's the plebs, everyone that contributes, that maybe they don't have a show, maybe they don't have excuse me, a whole audience, but they're they're such diehards. When I got started doing this stuff, guys like RDTC and Self Bank, they were just inspiring me, just saying, hey, encouraging, go for it. I love the different styles that people bring. Some are great with video, or as you talk about with Greg in the 2D, or I find some of the best memes are the most minimalist. Some of the best reactions, some of the best reactions I received were just a powerful image and few words. You don't need to be a master of different softwares, technologies to do this. So that's, Greg and I got hooked up like that because we were doing a lot of memes back and forth with people and just started sort of trash talking.
But you and Greg hooked up, or?
Well, no, we found out I believe we live within 2 hours of each other, but we're a close area. But no, just you get to meet people like this just through this camaraderie of memes. And look, from ideas, I always have to make sure I try not to overstep my bounds. I'll see someone has a great meme idea, and I want to build upon it, or I see it and I want to express it in a different manner. But I try to give credit where credit's due. Like, I'll always put up, this idea was inspired by so-and-so. Like Sen Fury and Sweet Toshi. There are just so many guys out there. Now you have the Bitcoin Arsenal, and Brecky is leading the charge on that front.
Totally.
I think it's such a powerful tool in the Bitcoin community. Something everyone rallies around, and I love to see the heights people get inspired to up their game. I think it's fantastic to watch. I mean, hell, you get someone that comes. There was someone put out today earlier on Twitter, and he had a list of, like, I don't know, probably 8 or 10 people that make up memes. He goes, listen, you guys get ready for that $20,000 Bitcoin meme. I want to see some good stuff. So everyone takes it as sort of a challenge, up their game, and at the end of the day, you're having fun with it.
Who was calling this?
I gotta look that one up. I gotta look that one up again. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. No. Hey, are there any questions from the chat, sir?
Guys, if you have any questions in the chat, bring them up. We'll have a look at it. HODL is saying, Pappy introduced me to the meme world. Absolutely. We've got some great memers in the chat right now. I mean, HODL, Plan Marcus. Wait, there's one more. I know. Let me just scroll through the chat here. There's 3 really strong memers. I mentioned Blind Marcus and Lapra HODL. I know there's a third one. Jesus, I'm sorry for the third one.
Oh, now I can see some.
You should never start calling out names, because then you'll forget some, and then it's not fair to them. You should just
hey, I started one of the Follow Friday ones before. You know, you do that hashtag FF.
Yeah. What about that?
Well, no, you start to do one for people to follow on, you know, especially on Bitcoin Twitter. I put out some of my favorite Bitcoiners. Right. I started that one day, and I think I could get hell, I want to say like maybe 15 names on the list. Well, damn, that thread grew to like 5 deep, because I realized every time I turned around, I was forgetting somebody, and you feel bad when you forget them. The same thing here. There's so many. There's such quality.
Don't do even the simple math calculations in your head while you're live, because you're gonna mess it up. It's just the fact that you're live is the what do you call it, nemesis or whatever. It's just you're bound to mess it up and look stupid. The same as when you want to call out 3 guys from the chat, and I get the name on 2 of them. That annoys me, but hey, you know who you are. Otherwise, you are anyway. So no questions has come from the best chat in the space.
That's fine.
But why don't we talk about price a little bit? That is always fun. I see 16,800 right now. Oh, you know what? Yep. So while we talk price, I made a poll last night as I was going to bed. Let me just, I will, share screen on that one, and but it just takes me a little while to bring it up. Give me 2 seconds.
That's what she said.
I love that joke. That never gets old on me. I just love it. All right, so here is the poll I did last night. Will Bitcoin reach all-time high and touch 20,000 before the end of 2020? Because it's something a lot of us are talking about on Twitter. It totally blew me away how many votes it got, like in matter of like 3 minutes, 7 minutes. It's just so I think it is something that is on many people's minds, since it got a good engagement. 73% think that yes, we will see an all-time high in 20,000 this year. 27% are being conservative and saying either it happens next year or never. So I will say I prescribe to. I think the crowd intelligence is pretty good here. I would say that we are looking at something like 73%, chance for an all-time high happening this year. I lean definitely towards that, because the way things are going, I mean, we're up $800 since last night, or $600 up. It's just hard to slow down right now, I think. So what do you think on that one, Pappy? What's your call on a new all-time high timing?
Yeah. So one of the things I always said is, in a way, you almost have to throw out in December 2017 through January 2018. In a way, it's a bit of an anomaly that run to 20,000, because let's be honest, what we had, like mostly 12,000 up in there, and then you had to spike up and spike down, right, over the span of 2 weeks. If you take that out of the equation, we're sitting steady. To me, this is an all-time rock steady high. And what I mean by that is, we're just cruising along at 16,000 right now like it's nothing. Okay, there isn't that spike factor. We're going to 20 and down. So I like the foundation we set. What I think, really, people are going to, now's the point. This comes down to what you were talking about with Greg, in a way. The ones that are going to, did they buy an all-time high, and did they get scared and are just happy to be here, and do they sell now? Or let's be honest, the way I look at it, it's like, man, guess what? We had a long haul behind the scenes. You don't know what's going on, like old Mount Gox stuff hitting the market, being sold over the last 3 years. There's a lot of stuff going on that not a lot of people realize affects the price. Yeah, I think right now, I think by any, I retweeted this today to Lord Snooty, if he's out there, Terry Jones. Back in September, I gave him a Christmas present. I told him 18,000 in December for Christmas. His Christmas present was 18,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah, I think that's good.
We seem to be on pace for that. Yeah, then what? I don't know. Does FOMO happen then? Pump us to 20, perhaps. But yeah, you know, the big move is going to be next year. You know, that's when.
Oh yeah, that's the big party. I mean, this is the pre-party. This is like we're standing in the lounge with a welcome drink. You know, sipping a little bit of something good. But next door is the gala room. That's 2021. That's where the massive party is going to be.
We're closer. Listen, I'll put it this way: we're closer to 100,000 right now than we are to 5,000. Okay.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
So
yeah,
that's
absolutely.
We're
closer to 100,000 than 10,000. Wait, maybe that's pushing it, but just a shout out to Plan Marcus that now for the third time in a row managed to find the red balloon. You can see the screen, right? PUBLORD, can you see the screen? Can you see the chat I pull up on the screen? No, you're on the mobile phone. It's very small.
Yeah, I'm on the mobile. Yeah.
All right, but Plan Marcus in the chat once again found the red balloon.
What the hell's the red balloon?
If it's just like, you know, he puts it up there, he puts it in the chat, and then that's it. He found it. It's just one of those gimmicks that's becoming a tradition on the Toxic Happy Hour. It's just the third time in a row that Plan Marcus is finding the red balloon. That's it. That's it. That's all there is to it. It's becoming a tradition and an institution, just like BDC Moon Guy showing up at every freaking Toxic Happy Hour. I don't know how he does it.
That's gonna be tough. One day he's gonna be like at a funeral, bringing us up or something. You know, something socially awkward.
Right, like he is more regular on the Toxic Happy Hour than Toxic PUBLORD himself. I mean, it's pretty amazing, right?
Yeah, dude, I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, like you said, we don't have the best host in the space or the best guest, but we got the best. We got the best people.
Right, we have the best people. We have the best. Should we call it Toxic Army? The Toxic Army of anti-shitcoiners right there in the chat. We have good guests.
You're right. Yeah.
Our guests are amazing, but me and Pappy are just hanging out, drinking coffee or bourbon, Coke, or IPA or whatever.
Yeah. Oh God. Hey, look, man. I don't care if it's vodka, whiskey, bourbon. You do not mix any of that shit. Okay. That's probably rule number one. Don't mix it with anything, not even ice.
I love how that's coming back to any American telling me that as a boomerang, saying, "Hey, I'm just trying to taste what is such a popular drink in your country." Sorry, dude. I didn't. You know, it's not my country that invented bourbon and Coke. That's it's yours, man.
Do you know the difference between bourbon and whiskey?
Sorry. No, actually, I'm getting. So I'd love to hear that, and I know if anybody knows it, you know it. But my guess is, of course, it's got to be made differently, but it's more sweet, right? Bourbon is a sweeter. Is it a different? What's it called? Corn or whatever? Not corn, but you know what I mean.
Well, there's different types. No, but it's sort of like, you know, most people, champagne is only called champagne when it comes from that region of France.
That is called the Champagne District.
So bourbon in the U.S. for the most part is a whiskey, of course, but it only comes from a certain area, mostly Kentucky. So if it comes from Kentucky, the state of Kentucky, then it's a bourbon. But there's other slight differences, and I'm sure we'll be educated in the comments below. But for the most part, if it's a bourbon, it's from Kentucky.
Right, Kentucky Fried Bourbon, as I call it.
Yeah.
That's the Woodward.
And you put that shit. And you put that shit with Pepsi, man. Jesus.
Yeah, that good bourbon. That's solid, good bourbon. Special batch label, everything, and then it's mixed with a Pepsi. Hey, man, I just tried to do it your way.
Hey, so we got to do another good one. If we're going to do it right, is if Plan B holds true, and we hit that 288, it's going to be a bottle of Pappy Van Winkle. That's what you got to look into.
Pappy Van what?
Pappy Van Winkle. Oh yeah, it's a classic bourbon. I think the 15-year goes for like $1,500 now. Yeah, you want a Pappy Van Winkle? Google it, you'll see.
Right, $1,500 for what? A bottle of what?
Pappy Van Winkle bourbon.
It's bourbon. Okay, so that sounds like it's supposedly really good bourbon. Is it expensive just because it's very rare and scarce? Because that has an effect on price, or is it because is it like really next level stuff?
Of course, I am saving my money for Bitcoin. I haven't used it on Pappy Van Winkle. I've had a friend or two that have tried it, and yes, the quality is quite good. So the quality is fantastic. Yes, also scarce, and yeah, it becomes a name thing. So yeah, what the hell? Right. You know what? If we're gonna do a Plan B $288,000 party, gotta have a little Pappy.
Right.
No Coke. No Coke, man.
No Coke. Just are we allowed to put it on the rocks, or is that
motherfucker
blasphemy as well?
Hey,
okay, that is.
I don't know.
I'm just asking the questions to the American man.
Hey, if you Danish guys need ice, you need a little water to help you stomach a bourbon, that's fine.
It's not to stomach it, but it's just we are comfortable in a cold climate. You have to understand that. So for us, if we're thirsty and drinking water, you know, originally that water is like 3 degrees Celsius. I know, you know, here you got Fahrenheit, so we're talking like water is like 35, 38% Fahrenheit or something, you know. We're not used to these warm things.
If it's cold, don't you want a nice warm bourbon if it's cold?
I guess
room temperature bourbon.
It would make sense, but still we're drinking you know what? Let me just show you a special, probably one of the most special alcohols from Denmark. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to pull that out of my freezer. Okay, guess what is it?
Is it aquavit?
Of course. Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey,
so this right here is the 2012 Christmas aquavit from Aalborg. So what it is it's so aquavit is it's a clear spirit, and this they make it with different like spices. Not that it's spicy, but you know, spices in terms of different flavors. And the one for Christmas has a lot of different amazing flavors in it. This is great. You know, a tradition in Denmark is we celebrate.
Oh wait, can I jump in on this one?
Please.
Yeah, because you have to tell me how close this is to true Denmark tradition. So I had a Danish friend before you. Hate to tell you.
No, that's okay. I thought you were going to say you had one. I have one Danish friend, Anders, and his name is, because it's not you.
No. So you'll like this. So I did. So you tell me if this was traditional. So yeah, this guy had it was a Christmas party. Okay, it was here in the U.S. and he's being Danish. So tell me if memory serves correctly. There are 2 things I remember besides the aquavit. One, you do this game where you have this big bowl of porridge, and you have an almond or something in the bottom, right? And I remember that. Yeah, so basically everyone in the party gets this bowl of, I think it's porridge, and there's some slivers of yeah. Dude, yeah, so basically this is great. Is you keep eating it, and whoever finds the whole almond wins like a gift or something. But the great part was this: is if you find it, the trick is you don't let anyone know that you found it, and it just keep shoveling it in. And I was lucky enough on this evening. I found it. I kept it tucked away between the cheek and gum, and I'm trying to pretend to eat, and I'm just laughing watching people just shovel the stuff in their face. And so I remember that tradition, and then I was laughing because on his Christmas tree, like literally had candles, lighting live candles on the Christmas tree.
Of course,
dude, it's such a fire hazard here. You know, he's got So
no,
people
but that's because you're being a little girl and not knowing how to handle live candles. Come on, dude.
No, I know how to candle, but I also know when he's in an apartment. Well, I was going to say he's in an apartment with a basically a ceiling of 2.5 meters. That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm laughing as people are just getting hammered on aquavit and then trying to light a tree on fire.
Okay, so absolutely true. So because we do this every year, there's a little bit of a tactic to it. I wouldn't even call it a strategy because it's very, very simple. But you have these candles, like the thin, very nice candles. They'll burn for, I don't know, like an hour or something max. And when you get to the end, they stop. They stop by themselves, right? You have them on holders. You put them on the Christmas tree. And the trick is you obviously never put it somewhere where there's a branch above. If there's a branch above, that Christmas tree is going to light a fire. That will start burning. I've seen that happen a little bit, but you know, usually we only take the Christmas tree in a few days before Christmas, so it's not like super dry. It's been standing outside in the moist and cold in Denmark, so it doesn't create a fire. But that said, you just put it somewhere where there's not tree right above it, you know. But you're right. You're describing the Danish Christmas traditions very well. And to get back to the game you were talking about, Ridsalermang, about founding the almond, is a very important Danish Christmas tradition. So after Christmas dinner, we celebrate the 24th in the evening. Then we have this for dessert. We have Ridsalermang for dessert, and it is a rice-based porridge that's been mixed up with vanilla, sugar, and whipped cream. It's really tasty. And then you have some hot cherry sauce you pour on top. It's really delicious. And you're right. Within it, there is one full almond, and you have like a big portion. The whole table, everyone is having, and it's about, you know, whoever finds it, I should say, win the almond present. It's called, and the whole trick is, as you said, if you get the almond, you take up your napkin or something, like you're wiping, you put it down so no one can see. You can continue to talk, and you don't have an almond. And the whole trick is to make everyone else, you know, get sick of eating too much of the Ridsalermang before you expose the fact that you got it. It's quite a funny game. And the annoying thing is, it's usually the same people that always win it. Like my dad, he used to win it probably every second year, even though we're like, you know, 8 people or something. And then like once someone finds you, you're like, damn, there's 12 months till the next opportunity, right? It's and my grandmother, the one that has passed away, may she rest in peace, she was deep into her 70s before she got it for the first time ever in her life. Anyways, it's a lot of fun.
The only thing worse
regarding this one,
go ahead.
Regarding this one, we usually have it with the Christmas lunches, we say. So we eat Christmas lunch the 25th, the 26th, potentially the 27th, where family gets together, you know, recovering from Christmas evening, have delicious, small, different hot dishes. Always, you know, a lot of marinated herring. This just goes so well with the marinated herring. And what happens is we have dark Christmas beer. We have this baby, and by 3 p.m. when we've gone through all the food, most people, you know, rather intoxicated and go sleep. You know, someone sleeps in the couch, someone goes to the bedroom, someone like I remember just taking a pillow and sleeping on the carpet on the floor in my parents' house because people just get wasted. Good tradition.
I'm starting to tear up here. I'm starting to tear up. That sounds fantastic.
I'm telling you, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been to Denmark for Christmas for 2 years this coming Christmas. I was meant to go in March and I was meant to go in November. Everything get canceled by SAS because of this whole scam. But yeah, never mind. Never
So
mind.
yeah, I never knew of anything more scarce than Bitcoin until I heard about the almond story here. One almond to rule them all.
I'm telling you, it's so there's a bunch of almonds. All of them get chopped up, but you take like
I remember.
One, you take that one out, put it back in, and then they stir it. Usually, the mother of the household stirs it, and that's it.
Then you find out.
It doesn't matter what you'll win, as long as you win. Usually, it's like a marzipan pig or something, or a box of chocolate or whatever.
Hey, at Bitcoin,
Carly is in the house. I'm killing her with a homesickness for Denmark. Well, yeah. So Carly, I really like Carly because she has a big heart for Scandinavia, which is, I think, the first time I've met someone outside Denmark that really loves Scandinavia as much as I do. And I know she would love to be there as well. But yeah, I miss it. Should have gone actually today. But partly because of COVID and different other things, I couldn't go. So I'm planning to go for January. I want to go for 3 weeks in January. Hopefully we can be pumping past 25K, and maybe I can upgrade to an economy plus seat or something like that. I'm not flying non-public jets like you, PUBLORD.
Hey, yeah. Well, we can talk about that later. Question for you. So, what's interesting is you always hear now, if there's going to be this jump, let's just say to six figures, we'll say 100,000 Bitcoin or 200, 300. What no one really talks about too often, maybe you have some insight into this, is how quickly does that happen from an all-time high? How quickly does that happen from when you hear, guess what, there's nothing left. There's open roads ahead, only free space. Is this something that goes just regularly, like we'll say 20,000, 30,000 for every month to 100? Or is this something that really just stays at 20, 25,000 at all-time highs for a month, and then it's like within 3 weeks that you have this exponential moonshot? How does that work when people talk about?
Are you asking how often we're looking at a situation where people say it's open air after that, or?
No. Everyone will admit it's open air. It was open air after 10,000 last time. What I'm saying is, last time it went from 10 to 20 in the span of a month, right? A doubling in a way.
Yeah.
So if we're looking at
16 days, buddy, 16 days,
right.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at the next rise, let's say if we're on Plan B schedule, if you're looking at that next rise, how quickly is that jump from, we'll say, from 20 to 50, and then 50 to like 100? How fast does that happen?
All I can say, I guess nobody knows, but all I can say is that in general, the bull run gets steeper and steeper. So the percentage rise on a monthly basis becomes bigger and bigger. And like Plan B tweeted out this morning, which I saw on Bitcoin Twitter on my mobile before my eyes were even probably open. I was sitting up in bed before I'd even woken up. I was on Bitcoin Twitter. Those 60% candles, they happen at the end of these bull runs. So it's hard to tell, but I'll say this, that if we approach 200,000 or even 250,000 relatively slowly, and if it takes a long time to get there, then I will feel certain that we're not at the top yet. The top only comes, if it comes again, which I believe it does, and which I bet with Greg on. The top is set in if we approach it really quickly. It is after a blow off top that you can. That is the top. That's why it's called a blow off top. All I can say is it's like that, when we're going to hit 20, 50, etc. So that's what, but I would say I wouldn't be surprised that, if we hit 20,000 in December, and then we may still only be at 50,000 next summer, and then start to accelerate. It could take time before we reach 50, but anyone's guess.
Man, that was a cheap answer, my friend. I want some bullish answers from you. I want 50,000 March, 80,000 in August. I want 200,000 December 2021. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, hey, see, that is where I am telling you the reason why you cannot say that the bull run is 18 months like last time. Most people say, oh, and I did so until March or something, until I dug a little deeper, that, oh, it was 18 months last time. Yeah, a bull run takes 18 months. No, a bull run doesn't take 18 months. It depends the acceleration on stock to flow, in my opinion. And you look at history, that is what is history tells us that each time they take longer time, and they're not as crazy steep. So if you want to talk 200,000, I would say earliest December, but maybe more likely to happen in Q1 2022. But no one has the right to call me bearish, because I've been screaming infinity. I know we're kidding here. I've been screaming infinity since late 2016, early 2017. I've been screaming infinity. It's just a matter of timing. And I'm trying to be realistic and say 2026, 2026, 2027 for infinity. I do think we have one more cycle, weaker cycle, smaller bear market, shorter bear market, smaller drop in 2022. But hey, I mean, let's see. It's a moving target. Things will change, and so will my opinion. Not because I want to accommodate it to whatever happens and then say it retrospectively. I am always forward looking, but it depends what happens next year. If Apple converts 200 billion to Bitcoin, game over.
Plan B already told you what's going to happen next year, man. It's game theory. Stock to flow.
What did he say is going to happen next year?
288. 288.
Yes, that's what he's saying. That's what he's saying by the end of next year. But what I'm saying is each bull run has taken longer time. There's one important thing here from Plan Marcus. Love your plan, Marcus. You have great memes. As you're saying, halving was 2 months earlier than last time. So I'm thinking everything is going faster. You're right on the first part. Basically, no. Halving was 2 months earlier. It was in May instead of was it July? Right. I can't remember.
Yes, but halvings are built on blocks. Okay.
Exactly. It's two different things.
Yeah.
So the reason halvings are less than 4 years is because the price is trending upwards. If in general the price is trending up, hash rate basically grows. If price trends down, hash rate drops, because the price is what rewards miners. So if the reward is growing, it'll happen less than 4 years. But that doesn't change the fact that the stock to flow is not accelerating as fast as it did early on. It's still growing very fast, but it's not growing at the infinity space of the first epoch or the factor 3 of the second epoch. So if the last bull run was 18 months, the one before that was 12 months. So history says it does take longer time. The uptrend towards the halving starts early as well. So that's what I'm saying, that bear market in the middle is being eaten away from both sides. That's why the bear market won't be 12 months, in my opinion. It's going to be maybe 6.
That's why, hey, that's why I'm with Greg Zaj, man. that bear market's getting eaten up every time. And
oh yeah,
next time no bear market. Hell, I can't believe he gave you 50%. I would have promised to steak dinner at 40.
Do we? Oh, you would have. Oh, you would have. Okay, so is your steak where your mouth is? Because we've got a new bit going on here. You just told me that you would have taken the bet if it was 40%. Are we doing the bet?
Let's do it
live on air? Or
live on air.
You can't really like take it back now, right? You put it out there. I know it hurt. Like you realized you made a mistake, but
no, not at all. No, 40% from. Well, I don't know.
Highest price from whatever happens to be the highest price. Let's say the price hits 300,000. You are saying that it will not drop more than 40%. Right? That's what you just said. And you said
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So if it drops more than 40%, steak, unlimited steak dinner and open bar is on you, between you and I.
Oh, hey, you've already established your drinking routine, so yeah, Jack and Coke for you all night long.
No. As I stated to Greg on Twitter, I'm having Cristal for starters.
Yeah,
empty stomach and Cristal, which is from the Champagne district. I only had it once before in my life. I never really fancied champagne too much because it wasn't really champagne. And then I was at a Christmas dinner in Switzerland, and very nice guy. He had gotten a good deal, still not cheap, but a good deal on like a handful of bottles of Cristal. So I tasted that, and man, that's a different world. So
but here's the thing, because
that was starters, that was welcome drink, that was like throughout dinner we're just drinking Cristal. That was good.
Yeah, so you went right in, and Greg, just like I am, man, we're giving you the advantage here. You're going in with the bet. You got the better advantage, your history. So we need to up the game on the return, because I'm giving you an advantage here.
Yeah, you said you were willing to take the bet on a 40%. But yeah, what would you like to change? I'll consider it as a request, but you just said you're willing to take the bet, same bet, but on 40% terms. You shut yourself in the foot right there.
No, just a nice bottle of aquavit for Christmas.
That's it. That's what we're betting.
That's all. No, steak dinner. Steak dinner. I'm talking about in addition. I get a steak dinner plus a bottle of aquavit.
Okay, now I will take my hat off for you. You're upping it. You're backing your word more solid. So on top of the steak dinner, which is liquidated by Cristal, I'll have one ribeye with biscuit sauce and another one with vodka sauce. Probably no room for dessert. And then we'll throw in one of these on top. So every 3 years they make a new bottle. There's like they design the bottle. They make like this one's a bit of a a drop or something.
Perfect, man.
But we gotta buy it early because these babies sell out. We're talking scarcity here. Not as scarce as the album Christmas Eve, but they run out in I think November or something. And they're amazing. I think that's a great. I'm running out here, so I actually need a refill before that. We'll throw that on top.
Yeah. So what's the time frame? What is the time frame that with you and Greg that you had after it hits that top that has to do that full retracement?
So I'm saying it has to do the 50% drop before the end of 2022, and I introduced that because otherwise we could sit and wait forever, and he would never wait. He would never win the bet, right? I can't just say, it's going to do 50% sooner or later, because then the bet is never called. So I said, let's do it. To say it has to happen before the end of 2022, or there's a
so like for example, look, man, we're doing a bet. He and I now, because I'm on his side of the country, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm more of a man than him. He was scared at 50%. He was. I'm giving you 40%. So you call Greg Zosh and you let him know.
Yeah, I'm just sitting and thinking like, you know, which dress he should wear when we're having that steak dinner, you know, because he's being smart. He's making the bed easier for himself. But you're starting to look like the man here, Pappy. I'll
No.
give you that.
Oh no, look, man. You know what he's looking at, man? He's talking about Roadhouse steaks for you or some bullshit like that. I would never do
no,
that to
no,
you.
no, no, no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do it
So
right.
yeah, what he's forgetting is that we need to find a well-established, world-class steakhouse near his place when I win.
Hey,
And you'll be
Google,
joining that very same dinner. But the only
Google.
problem is if
Yeah.
I win, we're gonna have two because he's paying one and you're paying the other one. But only for you and I, right? You guys don't have to pay for all three of us when you lose because I'm not asking for that.
Yeah, I'll send you one to Google offline, but look up Burns, Berns.
Verns. Is this
Burns.
near where you live or
Yeah, Burns.
Burns? Burns.
Berns.
I'll look it up. Might as well make that reservation now. Let's do it a Christmas 2022 thing because that will, you know, make it relevant for this baby as well.
But here's the difference, man. You believe in yourself for this prediction. I believe in Bitcoin.
I love how you try and turn it around and like, oh, PUBLORD, he's like the
You,
community. He's Bitcoin.
you, you think you know what Bitcoin's going to do? I believe in Honey Badger. Honey Badger don't care. Bitcoin is going to shock the world, my friend.
I um I really hope I lose. I really hope you guys are right that we're going you know, eternal parabolic in 2022. Because then, you know, affording that steak dinner for you guys is not going to be a problem because Bitcoin sits at $1 million. I think I'll be able to um, uh, find the resources. That will be a very positive scenario. And I feel sorry for you guys because you have to fork out money if Bitcoin goes down in value. So, as we already established over the weekend,
Yeah.
Greg, and now also you have entered a lose-lose bet where
Yeah.
price goes down, you gotta pay. You gotta pay up. Price goes up, I pay up. It's a win-win for me, but it's okay. I like it. You got balls.
Yeah. So price goes down is one thing, but no, if you're talking about a 40% drop off of a new all-time high, where I think it's going, I'll be okay. Don't worry about
Yeah,
me.
yeah. So
But don't cry for
put.
me, Argentina.
Oh, I love that one. Except I did go and see that movie with Madonna. Back in that
Jesus.
was probably last millennium. I thought it was a movie, and I'm like, when are they gonna stop singing and start like, you know, acting? When is the movie gonna start? And then I realized it's a musical. I love music. I love music, but when I go to see a movie, I want to see a movie. If I wanna hear songs, I put it on the system. All right.
Were you trying to get laid? Was it a date thing?
I'm not gonna go into that.
Oh well, it's either that or you watched it by yourself, and that's even worse.
Well, okay, so I wasn't alone. I had female company.
Yeah.
You're making me sound bad.
Not at all, dude.
No,
You're
I'm
just
kidding.
you're using let's say you're like the number one guy on eToro who's taking advantage of local Bitcoin guys to win a steak dinner. How much worse can it get? I don't know.
I'm looking forward to the memes that HODL, Greg, aka the little girl hamster, and Plan Marcus can bring out with this one.
Yeah, the hands is pretty funny.
What I find funny is that you could have entered the bet with a bigger chance of winning by cutting it at 50%, but you show you got balls. You're stepping out and saying, I'm
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna reduce the odds for myself and still enter the bet. I like it. Respect.
Yeah, man. Look, and if I got to send you just a gift card to Outback Steakhouse for $150, I'll do it.
Nope. Well, I'm seeing you guys in person. The whole the reason for me here is to get some good company and some good food. I don't care who takes the bill.
You know what the hell? We'll have the bloomin' onion. We'll throw a bloomin' onion in there.
No, but I don't. What is that? Bloomin' onion.
Jesus, man. You never had a bloomin'
No,
onion?
bloomin' onion. No, what is it? Is it a drink?
No, if you go to Outback Steakhouse, the bloomin' they take this huge onion. It's sort of it's cut down and deep fried, so it's like a fried onion with a spicy orange sauce. Quite good,
Oh,
actually.
sounds
Yeah,
good.
it is good.
Do they have that at Burns?
Now Burns is a little bit more upscale and traditional. So yeah, Burns, yeah, it's done in Tampa, Florida. But here's what's fantastic about it: it's one of the top steakhouses in America.
Well, that's where we're going then, Greg. Greg, if you're watching, that's where we're going.
So listen, so they have well, pre-COVID, it was quite the experience. They have one of the
Everything was.
They have one of the largest wine cellars on the East Coast. They only keep 10% of the wines on property. They have a warehouse full of wines. The gentleman that started it, he just I'm trying to think of what country he was from, but he just would buy up wine from everywhere and just hang on to it. They're still opening boxes of wine, and they're figuring out where it's from. They usually have 3 or 4 sommeliers on staff. But it's cool because they have a little mini wine cellar here, and of course you get all the good questions on the oldest wine, most expensive wine. They have something that is, I think from the late 1800s. There's a port that they have that they offer. They sold the most wine the night after the Buccaneers won the Super Bowl. Everyone in Tampa went out, and it was like whatever, man. It was just game on buying wine. But yeah, one of my favorite desserts there, they do a port flight. So they have a set of 10, 20, 30, and 40-year-old port. So good. So, so it's fantastic. Yeah, you really taste the difference in one flight there. But
so pork for dessert, I'm liking it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So they have a dessert room upstairs. So you transition from dinner, you do a full tour of the kitchen. So you go through the kitchen. They go through all the stations, tell you everything is done. To be a waiter there, I'm sorry, server, but you work on there's a farm where they grow all the vegetables. You work on that farm. You go to the sommelier classes to understand things. It's a 2-year process just to become a server. Oh yeah, man. Greg didn't tell you this?
No, because Greg, he knew there's a big chance that he's losing, so he wasn't talking about nice places like this. But I love the fact that you enter a losing bid and you bring out the best price in the country.
Hey,
you're a good man, Pappy. What can I say? You're a good man. I really look forward to Burns, and to be honest, I'm not sure I can wait till summer 2022 when you guys will be, officially losing this bet. It sounds really good, to be honest. Like, I did have breakfast, but I didn't have lunch yet, and my mouth is starting to water now.
Just order I don't know. What can you get in LA? Is LA on lockdown? What's going on?
Yeah. You cannot sit inside and eat at any establishment anymore, which means the restaurant capacity is cut by what, three quarters or something. So you have to sit outside. And remember, now during the day, it's getting down to like 75, 80 Fahrenheit. So it's a little bit chilly.
Yeah. Not for you,
at
man.
Least at night, yeah, I know. But now I'm just, giving you some smoke. But at night, during the day, of course, it's no problem. But at night, it can be a little bit more chilly, to be outside 70, 68, 70, 72. I'm still getting used to Fahrenheit.
What's funny is I'm overseas so often that I know Celsius just as good. I know in my hotel, I set that shit to 19, 18 Celsius.
That's fairly nice and chilly.
Yeah, oh, hell yeah, man. Yeah, of course.
So, Pappy, everyone in US have their family originally coming from somewhere else. Where do you originally, your family tree, where does that stem from?
Yeah, so out of, we'll say out of my great grandparents, okay? So, you know, 4 grandparents, 8 great, out of my 8 great grandparents, believe it or not, 7 are from the UK area.
Right.
Combination between
So you're
America,
mainly
England,
British.
Wales.
You're
A
mainly
lot of
British, and they said that explains the whole pop thing, that daily pop thing.
possibly, yes. Yeah, I would say so. And then one was French. So yeah,
Oh, je
French
ne
and
parle pas
English.
français.
Yeah,
You
what
speak
can I say?
any?
Oh, français.
Yeah, parlez-vous français?
Yeah, voulez-vous que c'est avec moi? C'est soir.
Okay, all right. Yeah, not bad, not bad, not bad.
Yeah.
You got it. All right, that's interesting. So you're mainly from the old British collapsing empire. Maybe that's why they came to America.
Yeah, so I go from one collapsing empire to another.
Doo-doo-doo.
Ding, ding.
Yeah, but you know what? So I started thinking about this. This is just like yesterday or today. Probably yesterday that I realized, and as I said earlier, you know, I think America again is going to be a great place to be once the world has had its great reset on Bitcoin, not on another crap currency, and because you have a big country and a lot of, you know, you have solid capitalism, and I mean that in the very, very best way. And you have a lot of value creation here. If US goes, which is a matter of time, on a sound money standard, which it will, and it will be Bitcoin, then I think, you know, it's going to be a great place because there's going to be a lot of wealth created, and even people on minimum salary will be put in a better place every year, because what happens is the same thing that happened 1873 to 1892, a 20-year period in US that where US was on gold as money.
Yeah.
Gold was the money standard, so you had a sort of fairly a sound money, you know, that wasn't being diluted as fast, and the productivity growth in US went up from factor index 30 to index 79, so almost triple.
This is your turn to take care of the crowd. I'll be right back. Give me
Okay,
1 second.
I'll do my best. So yeah, so I'll continue my argument here, looking at the wall where Puppy used to sit. So in this period, U.S. productivity grew the fastest it's ever done. U.S. was on sound money; it was gold. And for people in this period, not only did their salary marginally increase every year, but the value of their salary increased every year. So in a deflationary system, which you get when you have sound money, and productivity means that things get cheaper to produce, then each year they could buy more. Things got cheaper because of productivity and deflation, value increase of money. So they were just put in a better and better position, and that's what I think it's going to be like in US again, and around the world. It's going to be fantastic. World will be such a much better place once we have Bitcoin as money, which will happen by the end of this decade, latest, in my opinion. Also, it's going to be a lot harder for countries to go to war, because right now they can finance a war simply by having by printing government bonds. The Fed buys them up, and they have the money. Well, they have the currency. It's not really money, but they have the currency they need to buy weapons, finance army, and go to war. But once you have Bitcoin as money, they need to ask permission, because you need to raise it as taxes. You can't just print your way to war this way. And for that reason, war is going to dramatically decline, and therefore the world will be more peaceful It's not really peaceful now, but it will be definitely a more peaceful. It's going to be a wonderful place, and even lower class of the lower part of income earners will be put in a much better place. And I'm very optimistic about the world. I'm very optimistic about everything because of Bitcoin. Bitcoin fixes this. Central bank is a cancer in society. It's killing people through stress, through lack of savings, and misallocation of capital. Because when you mess with the interest rate and make that basically a communist decision, you have a small committee deciding what the price of the most expensive, most important commodity in the world, or in the economy is, then you have misallocation of capital. But Pappy, you're back. I could actually keep going, I think, but I want to bring you back into the discussion.
Yeah, hey, I'm going to say something right now, man. Look, you may win a steak dinner from me, but you're winning a steak dinner for being bearish, and I would rather lose on you being bearish and win on being bullish any day of the week.
It's called realistic and naive in your case. And Greg, okay, maybe not naive is hard. You're optimistic. You're being irresponsible optimistic, foolishly optimistic. I'm just being realistic and say, guys, listen. However, I will say there's not 100% chance, as I explained when I was on BD Sessions channel. Yeah. There is a risk to this trade on the halving cycle. There is one risk and one risk only, and that is if we break to the upside in this circle already, which there is a risk for. That's why I'm not selling everything, and on eToro I won't sell everything either, although that was originally my plan to have that fully as a halving side trade. But I can see so many people have allocated everything to me, so I got to be responsible and not sell more than maximum 50% on this trade, because in case we go infinity, I have a responsibility for these people to still have a lot of value and purchasing power, because I take that serious.
Hey, look, we got Greg. You got Greg the hamster. I get it, but look, you're Anders the bear right now. Anders the bear, and Pappy the bull. I'm the bull. You're the bear. I get it. It's okay.
It's funny because we're talking half a year ago. You thought we would always have dollars. I think we don't even have to go back many toxic happy hours, and you would still talk about
that they may not be. Listen, it may be not our conventional. What is the CBDC, the central bank digital currencies? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that to me that's a dollar.
You're gonna have to me too. To me too. It's just a dollar.
You're gonna have things.
It's a database dollar.
Look, even Saylor talks about this stuff, man. He says this is to me this is always a land grab, and he sees it as well. Guess what?
So does I. So do I.
You leverage his land. You borrow against it. You never sell your Bitcoin. Who the hell sells their Bitcoin? Who the hell uses it as a medium of exchange? When wait, you said it's going to infinity, right? Yeah. You said it's going to infinity. Why would you sell? Why would you sell something that goes to infinity and not borrow against it?
Listen, you don't sell it, Bitcoin, but when end of this decade is the only money around. When you go to the supermarket, the only thing they accept is Bitcoin. I don't know if you want to call it you sell Bitcoin or you are using it as money as it's intended to. We had this conversation with HODL as well. Great episode. Go back a couple of happy hours. He was there. And look, nobody, I know it's Lapper HODL has calls me Barry's blocked and reported. I love a community of Bitcoiners where you say, look, we're in infinity 6-7 years from now, and you're bearish. I love you guys. It's getting good.
Hey, if you want you want good cheap steak? You go down to Argentina. No, cheap as great steak at a great price. Not the Doc's Labra HODL, but yeah, South America, baby. That's where it's at. as well. Great wine, great steak.
Yeah. Let me just say, because I lived in Australia. Australia also has amazing, amazing steak. But Argentina, yeah, I think they're world famous, right, for their amazing cattle.
Yeah.
Which is an important part of your diet. It's important. Proteins, right there.
Steak only, man. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Steak, good vodka, good bourbon, good red wine.
So since last time we looked at the price, it looks like we're up $42. Let me just refresh my trading view. Yeah, 16,848. So we actually up $48 since what, 20 minutes ago?
Oh,
It's
hang
just,
on.
that's how it is.
I'm locked out of Coinbase. Hang on.
All right, so we've got South American Labrador. Do excuse me with your. I do believe you're South American and not Latin American. I'm pretty sure of that. Maybe probably you can confirm that.
No. I believe he's. I thought he was from El Salvador. I think he's from Latin America, but he lives in South America now.
Right. So that's why I'm confused on that. He's calling it asado, baby. I believe. I think he's trying to say what the name of the steak is, or the beef, the cattle, right?
Yeah, like a carne asada. That's their, yeah.
Oh yeah. You're right. So I guess this was the toxic happy hour where we drifted off a little bit from from Bitcoin. Ended up talking drinks, Christmas, almond games, aquavit. But this, a Bitcoiner is focused on life and life quality, and these are all life quality items.
No, man, listen. The first thing we got to remember is this. You and I have been talking for like a year and a half, 2 years. I mean, probably 90% of our conversations have just been offline, and we would just go for hours. So first and foremost, any type of toxic happy hour just came about because you said, you know what? Yeah, we ramble on.
Let's share it. Yeah, let's share it.
Let's share it. And that's what we did, and that's what we always do.
And you know what?
Yeah.
No, keep going, because I shouldn't interrupt you.
No, it's good to get back to our roots in a way. I mean, I love having the guests on as well that sharing this stuff, but sometimes we get back to being stupid. That's fine too with me.
Oh yeah, look, we're just here to really hang out and talk Bitcoin and whatever comes to mind. That looks solid, that beer right there.
Oh, does it? Didn't notice.
It does, and I have to work a little bit today. You're lucky you're on the East Coast. I think we can affirm that now. So you already did your work. I got out of bed a little bit later. I'm on my own schedule here, enjoying it, just living the dream.
It's hilarious, man. I usually my sleep pattern is mostly I try to go to bed by 9 and I'm up by 3 or 4. But sometimes when I get up at 4 a.m., which is 1 a.m. your time, you're just chiming in at the late stuff. We did.
Yeah, so we meet on Twitter. Like, if I'm still haven't gone to bed, but you've been up for a little while, and it's only a 3-hour time difference. So the only times in my life that I go to bed and am able to sleep at 9 p.m. is when I'm jet lagged. That's the only time that can happen. I'm looking forward to feel that jet lag again when I go to Denmark. I really do.
So what do you have now, man? So wait, what do you use to find your price? What? BitPay?
Oh man, we're getting really close to 17,000. The 17,000 realm. The realm of Puppy's first Bitcoin purchase. We're getting close to going profit on that.
Yeah.
I'm saying we because I will benefit from that when you buy me steak dinner at Burns.
And I will remind you then, I'm buying because you had no faith in Bitcoin.
I have plenty of faith. I'm just being realistic and saying, don't see that the slap across the cheek is not coming with a drawdown, because it will. I hope not. I hope I'm wrong. That would be great. I mean, if I'm wrong,
hey, there should be another side bet. If it doesn't retrace retrace 20%, you should be throwing something else in the game. If we do a break, if it doesn't retrace 20%.
So you are asking me to throw some cream on top without you even having skin in the game. Is that what you're asking, or?
Yes, I am. Because to you,
what's my incentive for that? What's my incentive?
Pride in your view, pride in your knowledge of, I wouldn't say numbers, but pride in your belief that it will drop 50%. So
yeah.
So you're so sure it'll drop 50%. I'm saying, look, if it doesn't even hit 20% drop, you should admit you should admit you were totally wrong,
right?
And that it didn't retrace even 20%.
Okay, I'll do this. Okay. I'll throw this in for you and Greg. Even though I will win, which means I have to. Which means that on the first bet, which means I come to your place, you give a Burns dinner, Greg gives a Burns dinner. We're gonna have two there. On top of that,
hey, it'll be one.
If we don't even, this is without skin in the game from your side, but I'll invite you two girls to Burns. If there's without you any skin in the game for you, only you and Greg. I'll invite you guys to Burns. If there's not even a 20% retracement before the end of 2020. But actually, the bet is this is not even a bet, but the other bet started from now until end of 2022. 120% retracement, you kiss it goodbye. That's the rules when there's no skin in the game. You got no skin in the game.
Oh, whoa. Hey, easy now, big fella. Easy. Because we'll put it this way. So we went 20% there. From what do you have with Greg? 50%, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I will give you 80%. You want skin in the game? We'll do it the opposite way. If it hits 80%, you get an extra one. Nothing in for you. If it retraces 80%,
right? I mean, 80% probably won't happen. To be honest, I don't think so.
Well, no shit. You know why? Because I love Bitcoin. I know it'll happen. But hey, there's no skin in the game for you. And also, in your mind, 20% wasn't going to happen anyway, was it?
No. Oh. I have told people constantly, prepare for 30% corrections all the way to the top. You'll find that many places. You'll find it on Twitter. You'll find it on eToro. No. Once that happens, it means I don't have that dinner is off the table because that's a bonus. You said if it does.
Right.
Okay, we'll say the 20 and the 80. This is getting slightly complicated, but I hope you guys can meme it. You, HODL, Plan Marcus, Greg, RD, BDC, you other great memers out there. I hope you can meme these bets so we can actually remember them.
We will, man. I got. Oh yeah. I think we're pushing 16,800 right now, aren't we?
That's what I've been saying.
900.
But that's what we're pushing. So we're 16,815. It's funny. Like 1 year from now, people go back and look at this video like, only 16? Yeah, that's where we at. We are only at the very beginning, the entry level of the bull run. So I had a buddy of mine. Contact me yesterday, and I've been telling him about Bitcoin for years. Still doesn't have anything. Let me see if I can find what he said. Wait, where does it come? Where does this? I'm just going through the. Yeah, this is what he says. Should have bought Bitcoin last time we met in San Diego. You were right. Should you like buy now then? Like, not sure whether this is the top. Basically, he's asking. My answer is yes, all in capital. Not too late. but we'll talk about it later because I'm going to talk to him later this afternoon.
You should have replied, as I told you in the bathhouse the first time we met. Yes, yes, yes.
Just, the fact that this is in your mind, it's scary. I don't know if I can come to Florida. No.
Yeah, that's one way.
It's scary. It's scaring me, puppy.
Yeah, that's one way to get out of the bet, right?
Right. So I think what we should say is, if there's not even a 20% correction where I have to get you guys dinner without you guys can losing anything of that, you and Greg are wearing dresses. That's it. And burns.
Hey, that's it. Look, that's an easy one, but yeah, I think that's a fair one to say. Look, the other way, if it drops over 80%.
No. Okay, dress is off the table. I'm not wearing a dress. Sorry, that's right off the table again.
I know, but hey, unfortunately, I gotta roll it up, man. We've had over a 2-hour session again.
Yeah, we've been 2 hours 15 minutes, and I really want to leave the honor of the longest toxic happy hour ever with Daniel Prince. He deserves to have the sitting record. We don't want to take that away from him. Also, I have to get some work done. Thanks a lot, guys, for hanging out in the chat. You guys are amazing. Yeah, love all the great input. I love the little back and forth bashing you have on each other. And thanks for all the cool chats we can throw on the screen. Any final words on? So tomorrow you'll be busy. We'll have 2 toxic happy hours. We'll have 2 p.m. Pacific time. We will have 11 a.m. Pacific time and 1 p.m. Pacific time. First Brian Harrington and then Matt Odell. Do you have? So the next one we've got in the calendar after that is Monday, 1 week from now, with Daniel Prince, the sitting record holder of longest toxic happy hour. Coming straight from where your ancestors come from. Maybe that's why you connect so well with Daniel. You being 7/8 British as well.
Think so.
Antonio, you're saying, "Wow, I missed it," but look, it's going to be up on YouTube. I think within 24 hours they upload the whole thing, so it's there. So not a live, but a recorded. So, will you have time later this week for more toxic happy hours, or are we looking? Do we have to wait a week to see the old Pub Lord live again?
No, man. I think Friday I may be available.
All right, maybe he's available. Ooh, yeah. Cool, man. I look forward. We missed you. Good to have you back, even though it's only been 10 days. And on that note, let's just remind people that don't hold more value in fiat currency than you are willing to lose. It's a built-in policy. Fiat is burning. It's crashing in real time. So careful holding savings in fiat currency. It's a warning. It's not a financial advice, but be really careful with that dirty fiat. On that note, see you next time.
Ciao, baby.